Yeah,
You know?
I feel like the discomfort is natural. When it gets to jealousy and you're kind of ruining the relationship you have and now checking up and policing, as you said, that starts to become unhealthy. And then ultimately, if it's leading to an internal insecurity between you and yourself, I mean, it can spiral out of control. And I think sometimes we almost want the other person to feel jealous. That's what I was trying to get at. It's like
Okay.
this feeling of like, oh, well, they don't get jealous when I get attention. It's like, well, it goes back to what you were saying. We're just trying to play games.
Yeah.
Like if it's coming from that place, of course. Am I uncomfortable when it happens? Of course I am. If you love someone, you like someone, of course. But I don't want to make my partner have to feel jealous when I'm feeling that way. Like that, to try and keep them entertained and try and keep them interested.
But that goes back to the point. If you are looking to make them jealous, is it because you're not getting what you need in this relationship in general?
Probably, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
something is probably missing where now, because a lot of people will do things to just get a reaction out of their partner.
For sure.
And it's because they want to see that you care.
Yes.
And if I have to see that you care, that means you're not showing me in other ways, or at least I'm not feeling it in other ways that you care. There's a disconnect there. So rather than jumping to the whole make them jealous, because that's a dangerous game to play, because what people don't realize is, yes, you may have succeeded in making them jealous, but you may have also planted a seed of insecurity.
Yeah.
And now they have to worry. Do you really want someone else's attention and time? Are you entertaining someone else? And so now you got this initial great feeling of their jealousy, but what's the backlash that comes from it later on? You see what I'm saying? What have you created? So to me, you got to go to it's always about getting to the real root of the issue. Why are we behaving in this way? Why are we trying to make this happen? Now, I think there's some couples where they just playfully do these things. It's not that serious to them, right? And that's fine. But you just want to make sure this is not coming from an unhealthy place, because you're going to create a more unhealthy situation.
One thing I love about your advice is that you're constantly encouraging people to have deeper communication. You keep saying, hey, but you got to understand why you feel that way and where that comes from and how that person processes it. And you, in all of your work, your amazing books, your YouTube channel, you're always talking about communication. How do you communicate with someone who doesn't like to communicate? Because there are so many people I know that if their partner asks them this kind of question, their partner will be like, I don't really think about that stuff, or I don't really know, or just go quiet. I've heard this from so many people. I'm sure you see it all the time. How do you communicate with someone who doesn't want to communicate?
Well, my initial response is going to be, you don't communicate with them at all. You let them go. But
let's say you already gone too deep.
Yeah, we know it's not always that simple.
Yeah.
So, and this is part of the problem of not understanding ourselves coming into it, because the reality is that levels of communication or what each person needs is going to differ, right? Some people need a lot of communication, some not much. And so when you're dealing with someone who cannot communicate, I do think you have to ask yourself, one, if this is not going to change, are you going to be okay? And also, which types of discussions are we unable to have? So for example, if a woman or man wants to be able to have like political discussions with their partner, right? And their partner doesn't want to engage in that type of stuff. To me, that's not worth leaving them for. Now, of course, everyone's different. And if it's going to bother you to the point where it's going to affect your ability to show up in this relationship the way that you need to, then you still should walk away, regardless of what it means to me or how I view it or anyone else views it. However, I do think one of the things we're missing in many relationships is understanding how we can supplement certain things, right? So you know how they say it takes a village to raise a child? I think it takes a village to have successful marriages and relationships.